Tim, you got to say it. It's your joke.
One Kachuk down, one to go. The Leafs cast is back.
Holy mackerel, what a shot! It's Austin Matthews! Do you believe that? Pounds it off the roof of the net!
We did it!
Round two!
Let's
go!
Round two!
We all knew they were going to do it. There was no sweat. There was no doubt. We're believers through and through. The last pod was a joke, right? We were all kidding. We were all just making little jokes here and there. We knew they were going to win.
I think I sent like 4 messages to the chat today that said, see ya on Saturday. I mean, I don't even know what the mental state was. We're not crazy. Nobody listened to this podcast that felt any doubts. Let's just be happy that we're here now. Let's be happy that we're here now. And what happened, what it's like after a fight. What happened there, guys? It's over. Okay, let's just forget about it and move on, because we're moving on to the second round.
Man.
Second round. Very happy birthday to William Nylander today.
Yeah, I know. He has 2 goals on his birthday, the birthday boy. And both of them, I guess he had the game winner until Ottawa stole it from him. So he had to go get it back and get another goal. And he worked for that empty netter. Like, that was good. Man, I'm happy.
William Nylander joins Bob Pulford as the only 2 Maple Leafs to have 2 playoff goals scored on their birthday.
Bob Pulford,
Right,
what a callback. We know that guy. Well, we knew that
do.
guy.
I have a
I'm pretty sure
jersey
he's dead now.
signed somewhere. Rest in peace. Too soon. Welcome back to the Leafs cast. Stephen Douglas joined by Tim and Ryan Allison. Producer Dave on the buttons. Round 2. The Leafs win Game 6 of their series.
It hit the wrong button. I hit one button.
Oh, jeez. All right. Producer Dave is back, sort of. So listen, we win Game 6 of our series in Ottawa by a score of 3-2. Tim's man, Max Pacioretty, seals the deal, and the Leafs are moving on to a second-round series date with the Florida Panthers. What did you guys think of the game? What did you think of the response? What's going on?
If I were to say one thing, that was the most important for the Leafs to do. It was get the lead. We've been playing from behind the last couple games, and they've struggled to score goals and tie this thing up and get back. And we got the lead. We were ahead 2-0, 2 goals. And when Ottawa tied it up, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that we squandered a 2-goal lead. It just, all these negative feelings came rushing back. But all the same, when it was 2-2, I thought the Leafs played their best hockey. They were pushing to get the win. It reminded me, was it Game 3, I think, where it's just like all of a sudden the Leafs needed a goal to win, or maybe it was Game 2, I don't remember, but they were behind. It was always Ottawa tied it up, and the Leafs need to score. They can't just run out the clock anymore. Then all of a sudden they dial up to another level, and it felt like that's what the Leafs did. I was very impressed with the way the Leafs closed out that game, defensively, offensively. I thought they deserved the win.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think at the start of the third, you could tell that they had almost just decided the game's going to end 2-1. We're just going to turtle everything away. We're like barely even going to go into the Ottawa zone. We're just going to kill time. And it was like, man, it's a 1-goal lead. That's not safe. And then when they tied up, it's like, I knew it the whole time. And that lasted for me like a minute. And like, whew, this is going to be a ride right to the end.
I had mentally prepared for the Leafs to be killing clock once William Nylander made it 2-0 with, I think, 18 minutes to go in the second period. So I had come to peace with the fact that for the next 38 minutes of the game, we would just be playing keep away, because that's what I expect out of the Leafs, right? I mean, we end up with 3 goals on the night, but I mean, the Leafs all season, this has been the formula where if you can get ahead, you hold on to the lead and you're going to win. I mean, the Leafs won, gosh, it was something like 38. They went like 38-10 this season.
Well, they're 38-1-1. Well, now they are, but leading after 2 periods. So the Leafs very good at locking down leads.
My stat not even close to right.
Well, and we did a good job. Like the same way for the rest of this series. When we decide we want Ottawa to stop getting shots on net, Ottawa stops getting shots on net. The shots in this game in the whole series were like, 20, I think I did that for about both teams. Now, for I think the third time this series, we've held Ottawa to basically 0 shots while we're defending the lead, and somehow on their 1 or 2 shots that they get, they score a goal. Is that weird behind the net? Like Stolarz was a little bit too far out from his. It's just like those weird things where they do such a good job locking it down, but they can't quite lock it down completely. And I don't know if that's just Ottawa getting a little bit lucky, like scoring on 50% of their shots in the third period. But I guess they got the win anyway. And Stolarz made some big saves. After last game, I had a thought like, man, maybe Wall, like Stolarz lost 2 in a row now, but no. It's Stolarz. Like he'll start the next series. He deserves it, and he's arguably our most important piece that's carrying us to round 2 right now.
Yeah, like just I think an element of it is that when you get that constant stream of shots, you're kind of like you are in the game. You have the feel for the puck, and it's hard to like be dialed in up to 11 and then down to 0 for 10 minutes and then up to 11. And not to say that I think the Leafs should start allowing more shots. Do not do that. But no, I think you're right that the Leafs, like, this is the Berube style of hockey, and we are locked in. Now we'll have to see, like, obviously when playing against Ottawa, like, we won every game by like one or 2 goals other than the blowout of game 1, and we'll just have to see, can we contain Florida next round? Like, does this style work against a better opponent?
Well, it really feels like, though, getting the lead is crucial, because we saw multiple times in the series, not to just bag on the Leafs on a night where like they're getting their flowers, but they really struggled to come back, right, in games where they were down even 2 goals, but even just 1, right? Like it just, I don't know, the goals come tough and it takes a while, because like even the goals tonight, like Willie, great goal. Matthews, I mean, a nice goal, but probably one that Ullmark would want back, right? So really both goalies give up a goal that they would want back tonight. And but it's going to be really interesting, because like as much as I want to take like tons of things away from this and say this is exactly how the Leafs are going to play next series and stuff like that, like Florida's such a different team than Ottawa, and you have to think that, like, I don't know, we just don't know what the Leafs are going to look like against Florida until we get there. What's the style that they're going to play against? Like, we know Florida well, and it's just, I don't know. The Leafs' series is so different than every other series going on in the playoffs right now from a goal scoring standpoint that I have to wonder if part of that was just Berube's, I guess, strategy. I have to hope, because otherwise we're going to have a tough time. I mean, Edmonton and LA have scored like 17 goals in 5 minutes of gameplay right now. So
I think the quality of goaltending over there is a little bit different than what we are facing in our series, and what we will face in the next series too. So I don't think we'll get to face Pickard in a game until possibly the final. So we'll see about that. I do think that probably the storyline of this series for both teams ended up being special teams, though, the power play and penalty kill. You look at the 4 games that Toronto won, it was on the power play. We got this game opened on the power play. Matthews gets his goal. And you look at the 2 games that we lost, and we scored 0 power play goals. Ottawa's getting shorthanded goals. Like, that ended up being the difference in probably all 6 games, is who's winning the special teams battle tonight. I'm really glad that they got a goal tonight, although it ended up being like a really fluky one. I hope in this next week that the Leafs have off before we play game 1 against Florida, that they take a long look at special teams and figure something out here, because we really got to get hot again like we were for the first 3 games of the series.
I think they said the series is going to either start Saturday, Sunday, or Monday.
Not 2 days from now. Other series are still going on.
Well, depending on how the West games go tonight, it could all be over.
Really?
Well, you got Winnipeg plays tomorrow, right? That one.
Sorry, yeah.
That's the only potential game that like would be on Sunday. That if they don't all get wrapped up. I don't know. I wonder about that. Saturday would seem insane. I mean, even like the Montreal series, or Washington beats Montreal last night. Like they're set against playing against the Canes. We haven't got that announced yet. I kind of don't think it's going to be Saturday.
There's no way it could be Saturday. That's 2 days.
Pierre LeBrun said there were 7 schedule options on the line, depending on how the West goes, and it could start either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday.
That was thinking that the Leafs were going to sweep. He was bandwagoning hard there.
My official prediction is it starts Sunday. I don't think it's Saturday. I think it starts this Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. They love that Saturday night in Toronto. Wait, they'll be in Florida. They'll be in Florida for that game.
All
but
right.
Who else stood out to you guys tonight?
Tim, say it. Say his name, Tim.
My man, Max Pacioretty, the guy.
Yeah, baby.
Max Pacioretty getting the upgrade to the second line, playing with John Tavares and Nylander for most of the night. We didn't talk about the line changes. We thought for sure Robertson would be coming in. Maybe not for sure. We didn't really know it would be fixed. But the only change he really makes is upgrading Pacioretty, downgrading Holmberg. I thought he made it really well, like made an impact, got lots of hits, classic Pacioretty, but then he got his goal when he moved down to the third line. So good for him.
It was, to me, what was crazy is that it didn't happen sooner, and not just Pacioretty, but anything. Like, we saw Holmberg up on that second line for too many games where all of a sudden, it's just like, Holmberg is what he is. He's not an offensive player. He's kind of like a do-nothing guy. So why are you playing with our our best goal scorer, the second best goal scorer in the entire league this year, and John Tavares, who's had a resurgence? Like, why is he with them when we're having a hard time scoring goals? It was ludicrous that they played Game 5 like that, and finally Berube made the switch to get Pacioretty up there. And he gets a goal! He scores the biggest goal of the entire series, and icing it, taking Ottawa out of it. Pacioretty, hats off to you. Good job. Congratulations on your second place finish in the man off. Well done.
Wait, second place finish?
That's Ryan's clinging to regular season success, Ryan. It means nothing.
We'll save that for the offseason, but it is really remarkable because, I mean, Max Pacioretty, who, battled back from injury to come back in this playoff series, but not even just this series, like, to his hockey career altogether, right? Like, comes to join the Maple Leafs on a bare bones, like as cheap as you can get it salary, and here he is. Doesn't draw into the first handful of games, but comes in for the last 3. This was his 3rd game in. Ryan told me earlier today he didn't have a registered shot on net in his first 2 games. I still have questions about that, but you could see it. Like, you could see that he was like working on something, like, he had chances, maybe more than some of his line mates did when he was on that third line initially. And yeah, he gets rewarded with a 6 shot. Like, there was nothing fluky about that goal. That was just a 6 shot, pretty much like right off the bar into the net. Just a beauty.
Well, you know what it was? Like, you never saw the Leafs give Ottawa a look quite like that when they were locking it down, or even when the game was tied and they were trying to do it. Leaving Pacioretty wide open in the slot to take that shot, to me, that's a big difference between the Maple Leafs, who are a much more experienced team, much more defensive team. Like at our 6th defenseman, they are not letting Pacioretty stand in the middle of the net and take a shot at them, but Ottawa's a little younger, a little more room to grow, and
I don't know. Ottawa had a few good looks, like off the odd man.
Not like that, Tim. But like, there's a broken play or an odd, or like trying to make a play or whatever. That's like blown coverage in your defensive zone. We have like 3 guys in front of the net all game. Like, there's a reason why we got a ridiculous amount of block shots, way more than Ottawa was getting. It's because we wouldn't let something like that through. Ottawa's taking their shots from like the deep point and praying that it gets tipped is basically what they're doing. And granted, they got several goals like that, as any team could. Any goaltender could not stop a shot that's coming from the point, then gets tipped a few times and goes in. But if you're playing the odds, I'll take a Pacioretty shot right in the slot any day. That is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Well, I'm not to say who is the most disappointing player from this series. I know we've talked about it at length after the losses, but looking ahead to the Florida series, what do you think the difference has to be for the Leafs to beat Florida? Like, all of us acknowledge that Florida's going to be harder than Ottawa. The hardest is ahead. So who has to step up? Who has to be better if the Leafs want to beat Ottawa? Beat Florida?
Like, outside of just, like, I guess the obvious scoring goals, I think it's going to be an unbelievably physical series, probably more physical than anything we've ever seen. I mean, some of those games, I saw them, some of those games between Florida and Tampa, halftime doesn't even look like hockey. And so that's not to say that I don't think the Leafs can rise to that challenge, right? I mean, you talk about Max Pacioretty, physical guy, Matthew Nyes, physical guy, Austin Matthews, physical guy, but I want to see the defensemen just mauling people in between these plays, because that's going to be a crucial part of this series, to not let them beat us up. Because even though the Senators did their best to beat us up and let that be like something that was going to try to crumble the Leafs, it did not. They were not successful in that. And we've seen Leafs teams just get, beaten up physically, scared, turtle, and that's the end of the series. And that's like just, I think, something simple that you can do to stay mentally aware that the man across from you is not concerned for your physical well-being and will try to kill you. That's something I'm concerned about going into this next series, and I think that that's going to be a big key. Offensively, I'll listen. I'll hang up and listen, because once again the Leafs scored 3 goals tonight. They scored 0 goals last night or 2 nights ago. Gosh, I don't know, because Bobrovsky is going to be a lot better than Ullmark. It's going to be
was good. He was fine. Now, obviously, late second half, Ullmark is totally different.
We got half of our wins against a bad Ullmark, though. Like, if you just look at the games where Ullmark was good, and Ottawa probably got more wins than we did. So it's tricky.
Very tricky.
I would say, if I were to pick a player, Tim, who I want to see step up from above what they were in this series, part of me wants to say Morgan Rielly, even though I thought he was actually pretty good. All the defense were pretty good, but we've seen Rielly become elite in the playoffs, and I think that we could really use an elite offensive defenseman back there. Tanev was phenomenal in this series. He was so good. McCabe, great. Benoit, obviously, the hero. I think Ekman Larsson ended with 2 goals. That's crazy. Rielly did have a goal in that first game, but I think that if I were to pick one guy, any one of the bottom 6 you could pick as well. Any of the core 4 you could pick. There's no shortage of players you could say this guy needs to step up, because we need it from all our guys. But I think Rielly has another gear to give. We've seen him give it in the playoffs. And if you get Rielly going, we've seen playoff Rielly going, I think that could be it. That could be recency bias. He started the series real good, but I want to see him continue that. Get back to being playoff Rielly.
Get back to being playoff Rielly. Yeah, you look at the core 4, and I think all of them ended up with pretty solid numbers this series. So if they get similar numbers against Florida, that's great. But I would say the difference going to have Florida also has some elite talent up in the top 6, and I think we're not going to be able to afford another series getting 2 goals from the bottom 6, maybe 3 goals. And so I look at Bobby McMahon has to take a step, needs put the puck in the net. That's what it he's great for being an energy player, and he had a few flashes, but eventually you got to start converting on some of these things. I would say even this last game, I think Lawton has been taking steps forward as far as he's fitting a little into his role. He got that huge shot block that led to Nylander's empty netting goal.
I was looking for who that was. Was it Lawton?
It was Lawton.
I was trying to figure. I love that. That's good. That's worth a first-round pick for that shot block right there. Well, maybe not. We'll see.
Not in my book.
Let's see him get a gool. Who would you guys say?
I saw another slap shot tonight.
Who would you say was the standout Maple Leaf rather, in our series win throughout the 6 games we played? If there's one player or goalie, I guess, one Maple Leaf or coach, who would you give the belt to?
Oh, wow.
It's got to be Stoli. Got to be the goalie.
Stoli the goalie.
Stoli the goalie.
I don't think I would give it to him. Well, okay, this is a really tough one, though. I had my buddy Trevor over. He was watching the game with me, and he's like, who scored all the goals for the Leafs this series? It was a lot of everybody, right? I mean, it was really I think Willie's going to end up with probably 4 goals in this series, right? But Austin Matthews 2, Oliver Ekman-Larsson 2. I guess consistently, game in, game out, I'm gonna say Chris Tanev was more important than Stoli the goalie. I think the limited shots that they got, I mean, Tanev's a small part of that defense, because I'm really close to saying I want to say Ryan's man Jake McCabe as well, or even Brandon Carlo. Gosh, they're all so good, that whole top 4. But just if they can figure that out, to limit Florida's shots, that's going to make our life a lot easier. So I don't know. I'm going to pick Chris Tanev.
That's how we won the games. That's how we won the series, is on the backs of guys like Chris Tanev holding Ottawa to like 15 shots all game. So yeah, that's a good one, Steven. I'm going to pick someone from the core four, and I think I'm probably going to pick Mitch Marner. Give the man a paycheck. He ended up being really good. I think it's both ends of the ice that did it, and you could see it especially in this game as well. Like, even you just have to go as far as last game. I gave the edge to Matthew Nyes over Mitch Marner. But, like, I was thinking about it, Steven, because I was also thinking of Chris Tanev. But, like, defensively, we were so good in this series, and Mitch Marner, like, once again, is just leading the charge there. On both ends of the ice, full 60. Like, that line was great, but I think Mitch Marner probably had the best of the core four, core five, if you want to include Nyes. He was real good, so it was good. We had a lot of real good players, a lot of like, you look at what we were missing in all those other series that we fell short in. It's the big players not stepping up, especially in like the final closeout game. We get 2 goals from Nylander and a goal from Austin Matthews. Are you kidding me? Have we ever got that? No, we definitely not.
Who's gonna carry the ball?
That's right.
I think my favorite goal of the series, I was still like Matthew Nyes on the breakaway.
Yeah,
like that moment, I think was still like my favorite.
You mean in
goal.
the game we lost?
Ooh, Mitch's breakaway goal from game 1 was really sweet as well. That one might be.
Guys, it's the Benoit goal. Are you kidding me? Benoit in overtime? Like, that was special.
See, I think it's Max Domi's goal personally.
It did. I tell you what, though, that game 1 feels like a month ago. I am aging quickly in these playoffs. I got a hat on tonight just so you don't see my gray hairs.
I can't believe they're talking about the Leafs playing round 2 in 2 days. That's absurd. There's no way that's true.
It's the Saturday night. They took an extra day off between the games, game 3 and 4 or whatever it was, just so they could line it up for a game 7 this Saturday night. They want a game in Toronto this Saturday night. It's either the Leafs or the PWHL, but Scotiabank Arena is going to have people on the ice.
All right.
I don't know. I still think it might be Sunday, but that would be insane. You're trying to tell people from Florida, I mean, if they actually have fans, they got to get on a plane, figure out how to get here by Saturday. They got 1 day. Holy smokes. Back to Florida. Let's move on. Remember, Austin Matthews, job's not done. Job's not done, right?
Well, are we doing a Florida preview pod?
Or is not if they play Saturday.
Right.
I don't think they'll play Saturday. We'll see, though. I just repeat what Pierre LeBrun tweets.
Yeah, I guess we should keep this one a galley. It is 22 minutes. I mean, I'm not sure what else to.
We're feeling good.
Yeah, we're feeling great. It's good to be back here. I know that like this pod would have a different tone if the Leafs had finished up this series in 5 games or even 4 games, right? So I hate to like not just be 100% smiles. You know, like we recognize that like it was a rough week, a rough few days since last Saturday. But the Leafs were the better team. This Leafs team won 52 regular season games, won the division. They deserve to be here. They deserve to win this first round series. They deserved home ice advantage.
Well, just like to put it on that note, Steven, we battled with Tampa at the end of the series to try and keep first in the division. If we faltered and let Tampa pass us, we would have had to face Florida in the first round. Yeah. And Tampa would have got Ottawa. And that's like a massive advantage. Like, we are, I don't know, I am scared about Florida next round. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about it over the next coming weeks. And we got to avoid that. Like, that's where it kills you in previous years, where the Leafs would lose a stupid game to San Jose or Arizona or something. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, we can't even win. And that's where we lose the division. We won the division. We got to face Ottawa. Not that they were easy. They put up a real good fight. But we won. And now we're in the second round. And now we get to face Florida and see if we can pull something out of our butts here.
I think, though, we got to remember, like, I get it, Florida seems a lot scarier than we did to this first round of the playoffs, stuff like that, but we beat Florida the last time that we saw them, handily. Right?
Not in the playoffs.
Last time we saw them, though, this season. Last year was last year. They're missing lots of guys. We're different. We got Max Pacioretty now.
Aaron Ekblad missing game 1.
I'm pretty sure Florida beat us the last time we saw them. You're thinking of the second last time we saw them. We saw them again after that, and Joseph Wall played and we lost, didn't they? I don't know. It doesn't matter now.
It doesn't matter. We're in round 2.
We're in round
That's what
2.
we're looking forward to. It's round 2.
I think we won. I don't know. Okay. Wrapping up. Closing thoughts for round 1. Anything?
It's round 2.
Moving on. All right, moving on. Job's not done. What's
For
up,
the
Tim?
record, April 2nd, Leafs 3, Panthers 2. April 8th, Florida beat us. Last time we saw Florida, we lost.
The game. That
But the
mattered-
last time Stolars saw Florida, we won.
I hate it when Ryan's
Exactly.
right. I hate it when
That's
Ryan's right more than I hate it when the Leafs lose. But they didn't. They won tonight. Tim's man is the man. Tim is eternal. All right. Tim's wishes. Congratulations, Tim. Congratulations to Leafs fans. You deserve this. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you get the whole weekend for the game. Let my boys rest. And we're on to round 2.